then it'll come out that in this case of Aish, there'll be a liability to pay Damim.
And he doesn't say it, he doesn't agree with that.
So you should, everybody should ask the kasha at that point.
Yeah.
So what?
What's the problem? Yeah.
What's the problem? Okay. Okay. Is he just pointing something out?
Yeah.
Is he just saying, oh, according to you, it'll come out that in this case there'll be a liability for Damim.
Right.
Okay. All right. No, that's not what Rava came to tell him. Rava came to challenge Rava. What's the challenge? The challenge is going to be understood when we see the next step of the Gemora. The next step of the Gemora is going to flesh out what exactly is the kasha. I'll just tell you one line of introduction. The kasha is because Rava himself has a Mishnah that says not like that. It says that would come out in that case of Aish a patur of Dam. Rava has a card up his sleeve over here. He has a Mishnah, according to the Gemora. He has some Tanaic source that says that it's not so. That's the kasha on Rabbah. Now, the Gemora is going to flesh out the kasha. Okay. How would you like to read the Manale, the Rabbah, the Law Mishal?
I'm not sure where we are.
First word in the line is Rava, and it's the fourth word from the end.
Manale.
Umanale.
Umanale.
Umanale. I'm not sure what mana is.
Manale, where does he get it from?
Oh, from where did you get it? The Rava. Delo Mishalem, that you do not pay. Ilema.
See the Gemora's that's the Gemora's point over here. The Gemora understands what's going on. Right? It's the Gemora. The Gemora says,
Where does he know it from?
we understand that Rava has a card up his sleeve. That's why he's asking this. That's why he's making this statement to Rabbi. He's not just simply saying, according to what you're saying, the following thing would come out. Oh, thank you, very good. Yeah, that's shloya. Thank you. Good. No, he's saying, Rabbi, according to what you have said, if what you're saying is true, then the following thing should come out. And then this good. Oh, so the Gemara asks, what's the card that Rabbi has up his sleeve? Minale, from where does Rava know the lo mishalem, that you would not pay in this case of the Aish? Right? If Rava has a Tanaic source that says that in that case with the Aish you don't pay, so that is going to be a kasha on Rabbah. Because according to what Rabbah said about the case of Shor, it should come out in the case of Aish that there will also be liability in the case of Damim. There will be a liability of Damim in the case of Aish. Yeah? So, the more asks, Rabbah, show us the card. Show us the card, Rava. Rava's not saying anything. It's up his sleeve. The Gemara is saying, it's okay. We know what the card is. We're going to tell you right now. This is the card.
Midisnan, perhaps that's a Mishnah. Haya Gadi Kafut lo. There was a lamb that was bound to it.
Right.
So bound to, there was a post and the lamb was tied to it. The Eved samuch lo, and there was a slave that was near there.
Right.
The nisraf imo, and he was burned with it. The two of them were killed. Chayev. He's obligated. The one who started the fire is chayev, is obligated.
Nisraf imo. They were burned imo, with it. What's the it?
I'm assuming it's the slave was burned with the kid.
Right.
With the animal.
Right.
Maybe it was
I would
with the
say
post.
imo is the thing that the gedi was tied to.
The post. That was the other possibility.
The difficulty is it should have said according to, if so, then we're saying both of they were burned with it, and if so, the Gemora should have said nisrafu, lashon rabim. I don't know why the Gemora over here says lashon yachid, because it was talking about two different things. It was talking about a gedi and it was talking about an eved.
I was thinking maybe it was because it's obvious that the gedi was burned because it was tied, but it's not obvious that the Eved was burned
very
because
good.
he could have run away.
Okay, I hear. Okay. Let's see what Rashi says. Let's see Rashi.
Haya gedi kafus lo. There was a kid that was tied to it. Ligadish to the post.
Haystack.
Yeah, Godish is a haystack.
Haystack. He's tied to a haystack?
How can you be tied to a haystack, you're asking?
It's a
No,
good
I
question.
can understand that. They usually they're
Okay. I don't understand.
usually they're wrapped in wire, so you
Wrapped in wire,
can tie
okay.
it to the wire.
Okay,
Yeah, yeah.
I mean,
Okay.
in modern days, I don't know what they did then.
okay, so they had something like that too.
Yeah.
He's able to be tied to this Godish.
Chayev, he's obligated. Agadi for the kid.
Agadi,
The agadish,
yeah, Godish.
and for the hay.
Yeah.
Upatur. Oh, and he's exempt al ha'eved.
Yeah.
He's exempt for the Eved because the Eved could have run away.
Hey, lo librach.
Dehaya lo livrot. He
Librach.
was able to run. Livrot is to run?
Yeah.
To run away.
Escape.
To run away.
Escape, yeah.
To escape.
To escape. Librach is to escape. Hayalo,
Ah,
he
that
should
makes
have
sense.
run away. What was he,
So that makes sense because the haystack is valuable,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Fire burned up a haystack,
Yeah,
so you got to pay for the haystack.
Mm-hmm.
Killed the kids, you got to pay for the kid.
right.
But the slave, he doesn't.
No.
Because it was the slave's own fault. He contributed to his own death. So if he contributed to his own death, then there's no liability. There's no liability. Okay. That's interesting. What would be, according to this, what we just read, what would you say the din would be if he was tied up to? The Eved. What would the din be?
Chayev.
He should be chayev. Because then you don't have this defense that Rashi said, Hayalo Livrach. He couldn't run away. So now, let's see if the Seifa agrees with that.
Eved patur lo. The Eved is exempt from it.
Kafus lo.
Kafus. Oh, if the Eved was tied to it, if the Eved was also tied,
Yeah.
Vigadi samuch lo, and the kid was close to him. So we're reversing the situation. V'nifrach imo, and was burned with it. So now the Eved was burned with the stack,
Right.
and the kid probably ran away. Patur, he's exempt. Ooh.
He's punter.
So that's weird. Why?
That is weird.
If prior he had to pay for the stack, you would think at least he would also have to pay for the stack here. And you would say he's chayav for the stack and putter for the rest.
Okay, so let's see. Right.
This patur is
Right.
against what?
What's the patur referring to?
Patur is against what
We have to
Bava
know what the
says.
patur is referring to.
Right.
Let's see what the patur is referring to.
Okay, Eved.
Where are you now?
Rashi?
Gemara?
Rashi. We're going to Rashi. Eved kafus lo
Eved
v'gedi
kafus
samach.
lo v'gedi samach. The slave was tied to the stack, and the kid was close to it. V'nisrafu imo, and he could run with it.
Nisrafu.
Burnt.
Oh, he
Lashon
was
Rashi.
burned. He was burned. They were burned.
They were burned. Imo.
Imo.
With the Eved.
With the stack.
So now all three of them were burned.
Yes.
Patur is exempt. Ukasavar, and we think, and he thinks, Rava
Rava thinks. He
Rava
holds.
thinks, Ha'i Patur, Hai Patur, this exemption, Ha'evid, of the slave, Vigadi, and the kid, Shamar,
God, look at
This
this.
is a
It's
school of
say-
football three. What? So good to see you. I didn't know you were here.
Ha'evid, the
Are
slave,
your eggs here as well?
Mishum,
No,
because
he.
De'ain,
Okay.
there is not
I don't think he can look at food.
Tashlumim, payment, Le'evid, for a slave.
Great.
Ella, except Dimakom, in a place, Kinas, that there's a fine. The shore with a ox, Ha-muad, that is habitual, V'ha-gadi, and a kid, Mishum, because de haya, that there is lo to him, livroach, to run,
Escape.
to escape.
Okay, so what are we saying over here? The patur that the Rava interprets, the Sover Rava holds, high patur, this patur that it says in this Mishnah here, a Eved the Gedi Ka'amar. The Aleph means it's going on. Is going on, the patur is going on the Eved and the Gedi, not on the haystack. Bavadai is chayav on the haystack. But the patur that it says in the Mishnah, because the Mishnah says patur. The Mishnah says patur, and Rava holds that it's going on the Gedi, and it's also going on the Eved. It's a surprise for us that it's going on the Eved.
Right.
We would have said that it would be chayiv, but Rashi's explaining that Rava holds that it's going to go on the Eved as well. Now, why would it go on the Eved? Why is the Eved patur? So Rashi explains. Eved, the patur is on the Eved as well. Why? Mishum, because the ein tashlumim le'eved, because there's no tashlumim for an Eved, ella, except in the following case, where there's a din of knas by a shor mud. It's a little bit confusing what Rashi means over here. If he's going to actually pay knas, there won't be a din dummy. But he means to say in a case where it would be shayach a payment of knas, because we're talking about a shor doing it, and he's got to be a muad. So in the event where there would not be a payment of the knas, in such a case like that, like Rabbi said over here, Rabbi said over there, when it was shalom b'kavanah, there's no skill and there's no knas, there will be a payment of damin. But specifically in that case alone, but not in every case of the death of an Eved, is there a payment of damin. That's what Rashi understands that Rava holds. That's what Rashi is explaining the Gemora is saying this is the card that Rava has up his sleeve. This Mishnah here is this what it says Potter, and Rava is going to tell you that that's also going not only on the Gedi, it's also going on the Eved, because only in the case of a shore, instead of Knas, will there be a payment of Damim, but not in the case of Eish. Not in the case of Eish. Eish is a different rules. Eish is different rules. Just because there's payment of Damim in the case of shore, when a shore kills the Eved, that doesn't mean that when the Eish kills the Eved, there's also going to be payment of Damim. There's no payment of Damim. That's what you see clear from this Mishnah. That's the way Rashi explains the Gemorah's saying Lema. If you'll say that this is the card that Rava has up his sleeve.